CERN's newest accelerator, Awakens, LINAC 4 has taken over as the first accelerator in the LHC injections chain. The CERN Control Century CCC is abuzz once again. The second longest shutdown, LS2, has come to an end for CERN's newest accelerator, LINAC 4. And the accelerator complex's slow awakening from a 2-year repair and recuperation hibernation has begun. The 3-week machine development run until mid-August saw low energy beams of negative hadron ions, H negative, fly through the first part of the accelerator for the first time since it was connected to the PS booster on August 20th. The first beams at the nominal energies of 160 MeVs were accelerated through the entire machine and into a dedicated beam dump located at the end of the LINAC. Over the coming months, the brand new accelerator will finish being commissioned and will be made ready to deliver various beams to the PS booster in December. CERN is famous for its circular accelerators, in particular the 27-kilometer circumference Large Hadron Collider, but the protons that circulating in these bigger machines first undergo acceleration in the Hubble and relatively smaller linear accelerator, the LINAC. In 2018, LINAC 2, which had fed protons to CERN's accelerator complex since 1978, was finally retired, with the 86-meter-long LINAC 4 ready to take its place, but a new machine comes with new challenges for the teams operating it. The machine development phase for the late July was handled by Accelerators and Beam Physicist Group, ABP, team responsibility for the proton sources, who obviously also ran the LINAC 2 operation. ABP made sure that we could send beam through the first structure in LINAC 4, the so-called radio frequency quadruple, or RFQ, with low beam losses, notes Bettina McCulloch, who is leading the team from the operations group OP, who are responsible not only for LINAC 4 but for the PS booster as well. Over the 3 weeks, ABP also worked on optimizing the proton source and relining it to get a better angle for the particles entering the RFQ. ABP then handed over the accelerator for commission to the team from OP. LINAC 4 differs significantly in behavior from its predecessor. In terms of shaping the profile of the proton beams that are firing downstream with LINAC 4, we can adjust additional parameters of the beam so we can feed the booster in a loss-free process, adds McCulloch. We can also adapt the energy spread of the beam to match the boosters. Acceptance, whereas with LINAC 2, one particularly only adjusted the length of the beam before injection. The newer accelerator will inject particles into the PS booster at an energy of 160 MeVs, significantly higher than the 50 MeV operation of LINAC 2. This enables the booster in turn to inject beams at an energy of 2 GeVs into the proton synchrotron PS higher than the previous value of 1.4 GeVs. The commissioning phase is crucial for long-term operation of Linux 4. Qualifying the equipment, optimizing beam instrumentation, and much more can only be done with beam in the accelerator. This week, Linux 4 was phased for operation at maximum energy. Among other things, we are working with APB to verify optics of the machine to prove the optimum conditions for PS booster injection point, Malulik points out. The beams are now sent to Linux 4's dedicated beam dump and from September onwards will be sent down the injection line towards the PS booster before slamming into the beam dump located just upstream from the booster. The Linux 4 team is back in full operation and looking forward to delivering beam into the PS booster on December 7th.